Welcome to the Off-Though Podcast, everybody.
Hello and welcome back to the Off the Dome podcast, everybody. Lot to unpack. Crazy fun weekend. Lot of stuff going on. We got the MLB trade deadlines approaching. We got news finally on the suspension of Deshaun Watson. We can kind of lay that story to bed. Maybe, I don't know. Just some interesting details. How many games he got? We'll get into that. That's kind of up there. A lot of guys got paid over the weekend, and since I talked to you guys last, so we'll break down some contracts, which ones I like the most. A couple of receivers got paid big, so that's interesting. That we'll get to that. Like I said, we'll get into the trade deadline, some moves, some whispers, some rumors. We got that's wrapping up today. I think it's 6 Eastern. But I do want to start off with something that is a little more on a lighter tone, just to kind of, I think it really paves the way for anything else that we're about to talk about. So I feel like this should come first. And we did lose Bill Russell, who was way before my time. So I'm not going to talk from like I have personal experience, but from after hearing this, I did go back and the only thing I knew of Bill Russell was he was the guy that won 11 rings, and he was pretty good back in the day, back in the day. Like, he was really dominant in his time. That's all I really knew about Bill Russell. So, I knew he was really respected around the league. He was one of the good players. I mean, you don't talk about the NBA without Bill Russell. Like, he is part of the NBA story. So I knew, like, the minor details through all of that, but after this, I did go back and really look into his life and his career and what he did, and he's a Hall of Famer on the court for sure. But what he's done off of the court, he's really a Hall of Famer in that aspect too. I didn't know a lot of the stuff that he did. I did not know about him being the first black coach in any North American sport. I did not know that was Bill Russell. That's paving the way. What was the other thing? Now I'm drawing a blank on what I was talking about, but he paved the way in so much for these guys and what he did. Oh, he led like a walkout for players. Like a restaurant refused to serve him, and he was like, well, then I'm refusing to play the game. And so he walked out, and he's like a really great player. It'd be like LeBron James, like if something happened to him, he's like, I'm out. LeBron doesn't have to go through that. He doesn't know. These guys don't have to know what this experience is because he's paved that way. So he's such a strong foundational piece in the storyline of the NBA. So I mean, on the surface, for guys my age and that didn't grow up with Bill Russell, you got to really go do some research on him because, man, he's a big piece. And I was just barely chipping away. I mean, there's so much more. Like, he was such a great player, and to lose him was sad. I believe he was, I don't want to get this wrong. I almost know it was 88. Was he 88? He was 88, I believe. Now I gotta look it up because I'm gonna feel bad, like not knowing. I want to say 88. Yes, okay, so he was 88. He had just turned 88. So I just wanted to start off with that, not to be like, let's bring it on the mood and then try to bring it back up. It was more to because a lot of these stories that we're gonna be talking about, they wouldn't be happening without Bill Russell. I mean, even though they might not be basketball related stories, he's one of these guys that paved the way in this world for other guys. They don't have to go through that. We're not repeating the cycle because he's like, this doesn't make sense. So I just wanted to put that out there, and he definitely deserves all the credits and kudos, and it'll be interesting to see what the NBA does coming forward. the season to honor him. That'll be pretty good. I'm seeing all the videos of him talking to Kobe. That video was really good. If you haven't seen it, go. There's a clip of him talking to Kobe Bryant on courtside. They're talking, and it was just really good. So I would go look at that one. There was another funny one was him, Magic, and Bird. They're all kind of clowning each other. I don't know what they were doing, but they're all clowning each other. It's really good. You got to go check that out. There's just some really good clips going around too. That's the only. If there's one good positive note is now we can go back and review these guys. Like we can see them. Like, oh yeah, Whereas back then you really couldn't. You didn't capture everything on your cell phone. So like you just had some photos, that you would go get made. But now everything's captured, so there's a good thing about that helps with losing someone is being able to go back and it's like they're there, but they're not. That you can sit there and talk to them. Not you can talk to them. You can sit there and hear them talk, rather. Talk to them. I guess you can talk to them. So with that's leading into the big deals in the NFL. I want to talk about these NFL deals that got done, and I'll tell you which one I kind of like better. And because that doesn't make sense for me on the players' side. But Debo Samuel got paid from the 49ers. We knew this was going to happen. They've been talking about trades, blah blah blah, trade. I want to trade. What it had come down to is he was not trying to be the guinea pig do-it-all guy and not get paid for it. So I think he got paid for it with a new deal that is he gets a 3-year deal. I was like, I knew it was 3 years. 3-year deal. $41 million guaranteed at signing. Or no. Oh yeah, at signing, but there is $58 million guaranteed total. The deal, he's a 3-year, $71.5 million deal. So he's definitely getting paid to do it all. That was the issue. He's like, hey, I'm the running back, I'm the offense, every screen, end around, I'm doing everything. I'm the and so he's like, you gotta pay me for that. Like otherwise he said, I just want to be a receiver. I just want to be a receiver. But Shanahan's like, we can do a lot more with you. And he's like, okay, pay me then. You gotta have to pay me. I don't think a trade was ever gonna happen. Spoiler alert, this is not the deal I thought was bad. This is a no-brainer ballpark. Got to hit it out of the ballpark kind of deal. You got to do it. 49ers had to give what they had to do. I mean, they're not going to be. Hopefully, they're going to be. Jimmy G will be off the books, so you're going to have some money. So give it to Debo, who's deserving. This makes a whole lot of sense. This makes him really good. You get it done and out of the way. Now you can just go play ball. He's not thinking about, I should have a contract. I need a contract. I love teams that do this. You got to get it done before this season. You got to nip it in the bud. If you have to pay, if you're not going to pay, then you need to be like, all right, we got to move on. Don't be that team that does a Baker hostage situation where you just keep the person now. You can't do all that. You can't be like, we're not trading you and you're not playing. You're our third string guy and we're not giving you away. And then, finally cave. I mean, that's silly. You're just burning bridges that don't need to be burned. So all around, good deal for the 49ers. They're going to be scary if Trey Lance is what they think he is. I'm just saying, they're going to be a solid team. They got all their weapons in place. They don't have really too much of a weakness. I'd say the back end of their defense maybe a little weak. Their front seven's just A tier. Come on now, they're up there with Buffalo, Rams, and yeah, they're gonna be scary good if Trey Lance is what he's supposed to be, man. So that leaves another deal that I didn't like. Didn't really make sense to me for the player. So Seattle gets a deal done. They're doing a 3-year, $72 million deal with DK, and 58.2 is guaranteed. So DK is getting paid the big bucks, just like Debo. He don't have to do as much, so that's interesting. It's not having to do as much, but that's neither here nor there. What it doesn't make sense for me is he's the star of a team that's going to be bad for a while. I hate to say it, Seattle fans. Even if they get Jimmy G, they're not going to be good. I'm going to tell you why. Jimmy G's not good. So any team he's on is not good. You know why Jimmy G looked good? He's average. He's an average quarterback. Just an average quarterback, maybe slightly above average quarterback, if you want to give him that extra little credit. But why he worked in the 49ers offense with Shanahan? Because Shanahan can make a guy look really good. He turned a really, really great quarterback, Matt Ryan, into an MVP. He upgrades whatever you have by one notch. If he had Tom Brady, I mean, he's capped out, but he would cap it out easily. It would be too easy for him. If he has a certain quarterback, whatever tier they're in, he's bumping them up a tier. That's just the Kyle Shanahan effect. And so I just don't think Jimmy G is going to do anything with Seattle, because that's the only team I hear now talking for Jimmy G, because he's going to be ready to throw here in a week or two or so. We're going to find out where he's going. I've heard now Seattle is the big team. Doesn't make sense to me. Don't care, because I don't think it does anything for Seattle but keeps them down the tubes where they would have been with Drew Lock. If they start the season with Drew Lock, they're going to be terrible. If they start the season with Jimmy G, they're going to be terrible, because Jimmy G's going to get just smacked up, and he's going to want to sit out. He's going to pretend to be injured, because he's going to be injured so many times he's going to just say, I'm injured. We're done for the season. Jimmy G's not a guy that likes to get knocked around at all, and he's always had a good line in San Fran. And guess what Russell Wilson's played with down there? You think it's gotten better? No, Russ left because they weren't going to make it better. So if you think for any minute that Jimmy G is going to take all these sacks that they're going to be giving away, especially playing the Rams twice, oh, come, give me a break. Those two games alone are going to be just debaclers, dude. So that's not going to work. So they're going to be bad. They're going to be having to rebuild. They're selling away the pieces. They're giving away the farm. Their defense is atrocious. It's Bobby Wagner's gone. Jamal Adams gone. All these guys gone. You know, there's no Legion of Boone coming back to that door. So they're just a mess. I'm not going to lie. The Seahawks are a mess, and they refuse. To me, they feel like they refuse to. God, it's itching my nose. They feel like they I don't know. They don't know what they're doing. That's with an old Pete Carroll. They don't want to rebuild, but then he stays, and he said he had bluffed. We never wanted to leave anyways. Why? What's wrong with you? You got to be on a team that wants to compete, and you can't get guys until you draft good guys and prove that you can compete. It starts with the quarterback. If you have a quarterback, anyone will want to come play with you. You know, offensive, wide receiver wise, they just want a good quarterback that's going to give them the ball and take care of them. So I don't know. I don't like the deal. I think he should have went somewhere else. I think the grass is going to be a lot greener anywhere else. I think a lot of teams would have sought after his talent, and it would have made a lot of sense to get out of there while they're going to be, these 3 years that he signed, they're going to be terrible. So he signed this contract was just to get a bunch of money. So he just got a bunch of money. They're going to be bad. His stats will be pretty good. You know, he'll keep doing his, I mean, they'll feed him the ball. Whatever quarterback is there that stinks, Drew Lock or Jimmy G, they're going to feed him the ball. Tyler Lockett will eventually leave. He's older than him, so he'll be out of there, I think. And then they're just going to only be him, and then he's just going to be like that, like that meme. Was it that Will Smith, that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air meme where he walks in and like looking around, there's somebody there? Something like that. He's going to be the only guy, and then he'll end up going somewhere else after the 3 years. Mark my words. In 3 years, he'll be signing somewhere else. I'd watch it be like it'll be like the Rams or something at the time. I don't know who's going to be good. The Bengals. He'll sign with the Bengals, play with Jamar Chase. Okay, so we got to talk about the big elephant in the room here, and that's suspension on with suspension on Deshaun Watson. He gets 6 games. He gets 6 games. What? Let me show you guys this little something here. This is this right here. Make this make sense. So we gotta list this, all these suspensions right here. What are you? Calvin Ridley, my Calvin Ridley now on my Falcons gets 17 games for betting on games, a whole season. He may miss 11 million in his salary. He may not get that. Montez Burfict, 12 games for targeting. Okay. So far it makes sense. I mean, it really seems like right now you're really strong against betting. Betting's bad. Trying to kill people with your helmet and your own body. Not as bad. Okay. Deandre Hopkins got the same 6 games as Watson, and he took performance-enhancing drugs. So, whatever that was, if it was messed, he didn't mean to, whatever, who cares? He takes them. I'm sure he's not juice or anything. I feel like he just took something that he didn't know he wasn't supposed to. Okay, so he took that. A lot less worse than trying to hurt somebody with your body. Okay, yeah, half of it. Okay, oh yeah, I'm following you. Martavius Bryant, indefinitely weed. Okay, now you lost me. Now you lost me. It started off rough when betting was so bad. But, okay, this jump here makes sense. Weed indefinitely. Josh Gordon over his career has been suspended 25-plus games for weed. Okay, why not indefinitely? You didn't like Martavius Bryant, huh? Darren Waller, 16 games for substance abuse. What? Now, what's a substance abuse compared to PEDs compared to weed? Why is it? Where do you factor? Where's your math in getting 16 games versus 25 plus games to indefinitely and 6? Your numbers are not making sense. And then we get Deshaun Watson, who has 25 accusations against him, against inappropriate actions. Sexual misconduct, we'll say. 25 out against him. That's the same as using performance-enhancing drugs. Doing some very disturbing things in a massage parlor is the same thing as, oops, I took the wrong medication and now I'm going to come up for PEDs. Those guys are the same guys. I'm just saying, we got to make it. We really got to make it make sense. It's got to make sense, because that doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand where he comes up with his rulings of how long you're going to be suspended, and it's never made sense. He's always fumbled the bag on this stuff. They just need to have somebody come up on, like, I don't know how they do it, but it needs to be like an outside someone hired out to do it. Not him. He should not be involved in it at all. Roger Goodell. The NFL, in general, they really fumble the bag at all times on this thing. On all fronts, they're just bad across the board. They've never made sense about anything when it comes to suspending players and shit like that. It's fucking silly. It doesn't even make sense to tell me that a guy smoking weed is a whole lot worse than somebody that goes into a massage parlor and is just whipping out their dick. Like, yeah, hop on it. Come on, dog. You're feeding me garbage, and I'm not here for it. So that situation's a mess, especially for betting games being way longer. So let's get into some trade deadline. Wrap it up for you, because that's what's going to be popping today. It's the old trade deadline. Shohei Ohtani. So for whatever reason, the Angels were talking about, yeah, they're gonna get rid of, they're willing to trade him, which I wasn't buying it for a second. They've come out now and said, yeah, no, we're gonna hang on to Ohtani. So I think some teams put in some offers, made some offers, but it just didn't make any sense to get rid of him. That was just some garbage. The other big name that we want to knock out before we just go through some stuff is Juan Soto. Juan Soto, still, I don't think he goes anywhere at all. Cardinals, Padres, and Dodgers are the teams to be in the mix. They've gone back and forth, said every one of these teams has been the favorite to get him. I think right now they're all chipping away. Any one of them could get him. I don't think he will move. I would love the Cardinals to get Soto and keep Arenado and Goldschmidt. I think could win a World Series, especially adding Jose Quintana, which was a little surprising move that the Cardinals did. I like to see them get some more rotation, get some more pitching of either kind. Luis Castillo was a good one. I thought would have been good, but let's go ahead and just talk about all the moves out here. To me, I felt like this was a really quiet MLB trade deadline. I feel like they're just putting out a couple big stories like Ohtani and Soto just because it's so dead and no one's really getting moved at all. Like there's only like 3 or 4 teams that are all gonna probably have a good shot in the playoffs. They're the only ones making moves. For instance, the Mariners got Carlos Santana. The Mariners made some pretty solid moves. This one was alright. I don't know about that. Let's see. Carlos Santana. He's 36, batting .203, 9 home runs and 33 RBIs. So, yeah, I don't know if that does anything for them at all. I really don't. Really don't think that does anything for them. The Yankees got Andrew Benintendi from the Royals. I thought that was decent move, but okay, keep a track on how many different teams we're going to talk about. Some other teams made moves, but I'm talking about big moves. Like the Mets acquired Tyler Naquin. I don't know. But the Mariners, again, they got Luis Castillo, which I thought was a really good move. Made a lot of sense, helped that pitching. And he's been a stud this year, so why not get him while the iron's hot and do it and get it done. It makes a whole lot of sense. The Cardinals got Jojo Romero, who I didn't hear about this deal, so I don't know who he is, so I got to look him up. I guess we can see. Let's see. Jojo Romero. Let's see this guy. I know he's pitching. Do they not have him on ESPN? Like his stats on it. Oh, here we go. He has a 13.5 ERA. Like, how many games? He went an inning against the Cubs. Gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. A home run and a walk. Against Miami, went an inning, got a strikeout. Okay. Well, that was career pitching. I want this season. Like, what has he done this season? 0 saves. So he's a relief pitcher. So we'll see. We'll see what that turns into. So I don't know. Like that's just like every team made like a move and then a okay move. Because I think Cardinals made a better move when they got Jose Quintana from the Pirates, who's 3-5 and 3.50 ERA, 89 Ks, a WHIP of 1.27. He's kind of had a little resurgence because he had a really good, strong years with the Cubs and he dipped down and then come back now. But for the Pirates, that's pretty good stats because they're not that. I mean, against Miami, he went 7 innings, 4 hits, 4 Ks. 5 innings against Colorado, had it roughed up. He went 5 2/3, 4 hits, no earned run. Not bad. 7 Ks against the Yankees. He went 5 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, 7 Ks against the Yankees. So get him in the right situation. That might be good for him. So that I did like that move. We got Red Sox got Tommy Pham. Astros got Christian Vasquez. Catcher batting .282, 8 home runs, 42 RBIs. So solid for a catcher. You get a catcher batting .282. That's solid. The Yankees got Frankie Montez and Lou Trevino from the A's. The Padres, big move I liked was them getting Josh Hader. That's a good move there. Astros got Trey Mancini. And that's really about only big moves. So not a lot of moves getting made. Just some. Okay, Mets got Daniel Vogelbach from the Pirates. So other than that, really nothing. I feel like there's not going to be any big moves this year. Nothing splashy. It's going to be a quiet trade deadline. Nothing else is going to pop off today, I doubt. The only thing would be crazy if they got a Soto deal to the Cardinals, and that'd be okay. And we'd be all right. You know, bring Soto to the Cardinals, and we're good. When your pitching's down a little bit this year with injuries and stuff, just bring in more bats. Just score more runs than them. Be able to just imagine having to go against Goldie, Soto, Arenado. Damn, son. That'd be nasty. But I don't know if it gets done. There's too much money tied up to those guys. I don't know if they're going to be willing to pay. Cardinals don't like paying that much. I can't believe they went and got Goldie and then got Arenado. That's what's surprising me. So the fact that we're not getting anybody tells me that's probably what's going to happen. We're not going to get anybody. Made a couple little cheap deals. Got some guys, whatever. Jose Quintana's a low-risk deal to bring in. Hopefully they make another move. But yeah. That's about all I got for you guys. So, oh. How could I fucking forget? This Thursday, football's back, boys. Football is back Thursday. We get the Hall of Fame game, Jags and the Raiders. So, we're back, boys. We're back. We're going to be talking football soon. We're going to be talking. It's about that time of year. Football's back. Postseason baseball. Football and postseason baseball. Here we go. Then NBA starts. So, with that, we'll let you go with Nala saying her 2 cents here now. We'll let y'all go. Love y'all, guys. Have a good one. Peace.